أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطاهرين. Verse number 119, Surah Al Imran. ها أنتم أولئك تحبونهم ولا يحبونكم وتؤمنون بالكتاب كله وإذا لقوكم قالوا آمنا وإذا خلوا عضوا عليكم الأنامل من الغيظ قل موتوا بغيظكم إن الله عليم بذات الصدور. You are the ones who bear love towards them, while they do not love you, though you believe in all the books. And when they meet you, they say, we believe. But when they are alone, they bite their fingertips out of rage at you. Say, die of your rage. Indeed, Allah knows best what is in the breasts. Now, this verse is actually an explanation or elaboration on what was said in the previous verse. That's يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تتخذوا بطانة من دونكم. Do not take confidants from other than yourself. And then it, of course, explained why you shouldn't do that. And then this verse explains further, and the following verse as well explain these in more details. Now, these three verses, which is like a package about the relationship between the Muslims in Medina and the Jews of the time, it is actually in preparation for the recount of the story of what happened in the Battle of Uhud. You know, because immediately after the following verse, an account of the Battle of Uhud is provided. And that battle was very important and crucial in the sense that because the Muslims were given the promise of victory and they were defeated. So it brought about theological questions. It shook the faith of the believers. There were lots of questions going on. Why did that happen? If we are the believers, why were we defeated? And all these things. Now, what added to all that was rumors, whispers, and the account that the Jews of Medina, the spin that the Jews of Medina were given to the account of the battle. And of course, in what follows, we will have an account of the battle. Allah explains what happened, explains why, despite you were promised victory, you were defeated, and all those things. However, here warns the believers in these verses, it warns the believers that do not take, first of all, do not reveal the secrets to other than yourself, the secrets of what the Prophet has said, what was the details of the battle, and also do not take their account at face value. Do not believe in what they say about the account of the battle. And here, actually, these are the reasons given why you should not believe them in what they say. And why should you not take them as your confidant to rely on them and trust them. Okay, now this verse, Ha antum ula'i tuhibbunahum. Ha antum ula' means Antum ha'ula. Ha'ula means those people. Antum, you. And however, there's a sort of ha has come before antum. It's a ha, antum ula. And that has come, they say ha is for tambih. That is to give reminder or to draw attention. To attract attention that listen to me when I say why you shouldn't do that. Listen, you are those who تحبونهم ولا يحبونكم. Now, how should they know that they do not like them? They do not love them. They do not they show love towards them, of course. Well, the believers had certainly no grudge against the Jews in Medina. And they loved them because they had long-lasting relations with them in business, in cultural relations, and education, and many other things. However, they thought that they are actually offering the same love towards the believers. And Allah is here giving a knowledge of the unseen, because what is in their hearts is not known. Allah says that you love them, but they do not love you. I am aware of what goes in their hearts, and I warn you about that. Now, in Tafsir al-Kashif, and in some other tafsir, like Tibyan, for example, it says that this address is not to all the believers. Ha antum ulai tuhibbunahum. You are the ones who love them. Not everyone, of course, was in that sort of relationship with the Jews in Medina. And also nowadays, among the believers, of course, the affection, the relation, the sort of good example of behavior that Muslims show towards non-Muslims has different levels. I mean, Muslims are very different in this respect, and the other side are very different as well. However, here, not every companion of the Prophet, let's take it to that time. I mean, let's restrict it to that time. Not every companion of the Prophet showed that love and actually had that love in their hearts. There were certain people who were historically in a sort of deep interaction with the Jews, and they thought that whatever the Jews say, they have to consider it deeply because they know something that maybe we do not know. And also they are more educated than us. They are better in terms of they have scripture, book, all these things. So a group of Muslims were like that. In Tafsir al-Kashif, Mughniya, Rahmatullah alayhi, says that, look, even today we have some Muslims who love people who are not Muslims and are, of course, more advanced in their civilization, in their technology. They love them more. And they think that by loving them, they love them as well. While they're wrong. By loving them, they would not love you. They would not regard you like themselves. He says that this is خطاب للمؤمنين أعلمه الله تعالى أن منافق أهل الكتاب لا يحبونه. This is something that this is what Tibyan Sheikh Tusi says. First of all, here it talks about Ahlul Kitab, but it says إذا لقوكم قالوا آمنا. When they see you, when they encounter you, they say we believe. But did really the Jews in Medina say that we believe in Islam? No, maybe they said we believe in your way, in that the Prophet is guiding you, leading you towards unity, towards a better community. We believe in that. Just to appease them, to keep them friendly, and have them divulge the secrets to them in future as well. So in Tibyan, it says these are munafiqu Ahl al-Kitab, the hypocrites among Ahl al-Kitab. Not all Ahl al-Kitab were like that, of course. There were a group of Ahlul Kitab who were hypocrites, saying these things, saying that, just take the example of politicians, some politicians today. We work for human rights, we work for the betterment of humanity, we want all peace all over the world, and they are the ones who create the fiercest wars everywhere in the world. The same thing here is said about them. Munafiqi Ahl al-Kitab. And these are the ones who were accompanying these munafiqun or Ahlul Kitab, hypocrites. They extended their hearts towards them. They opened their good behavior as a muhib should do, as someone who loves someone else would do. But these hypocrites were exactly opposite of that. And Allah actually is revealing what is in their hearts, and this is dhalik min ayat al-Nabi. This is from the ayat of the Prophet. This is a sort of information which comes from ghaib, comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, ها أنتم ولا تحبونهم ولا يحبونكم. In Majma' al-Bayan, he gives another sort of interpretation to this. He says that تحبونهم لأنكم تريدون لهم الإسلام وتدعونهم إلى الجنة. You love them because you think Islam is a precious thing. Islam will lead people to paradise, and you want to invite them to Islam. That's why you show so much affection towards them. You want to be close to them because you love them to follow this path of felicity and salvation. وَلَا يُحِبُّونَكُمْ. What they do in response, they want to lead you to kufr, to disbelief. They want to lead you astray. And وَفِيهِ الْحَلَاقِ, is destruction in that. So this is the meaning of, in fact, it's a practical sort of love. Love because you want to drag them towards paradise, and dislike because they want to drag you towards kufr. Now, Tafsir al-Kashif, Mughni rahmatullah alayh, has actually provided a very sharp criticism against Tabari here. Of course, Tabari is the leader of the Mufassirun. No one doubts in his knowledge of tafsir and hadith. He says that Tabari here has mentioned something, and many other Mufassirun have followed him in that. And they say that the fact that Muslims love the disbelievers, despite them despising Muslims, is an evidence that Islam is the religion of love, forgiveness, and so on and so forth. Well, this is what Tabari says. What Tabari and those who follow him. The fact that Muslims love disbelievers here, ha antum ulai tuhibbuna, despite knowing that they do not love them, and you can judge whether this is correct or not, this argument, this shows Islam is a religion of love and forgiveness and mercy. Now, Mughni sharply, strongly criticizes this. He says this is an absolute mistake because Muslims are never, Islam has never allowed Muslims to love the corrupt people, to love the betrayers, to love those who want to damage Islam. And we are dealing with these people here. Not with just a non-believer who doesn't know anything, who is not going to damage or doesn't actually have any intention like that. We are talking about munafiqu ahl al-kitab, the hypocrites, So what type of talk is this? And being tolerant in that sense and showing love is only something that simpleton Muslims would do rather than clever and true Muslims. So that is what Tabari says, this is what Mughniya says. And then there are many verses in the Quran which warns Muslims of being allies, taking close friends in terms of matters of dealing with faith, dealing with the community. Like, for example, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la tattakhidhu al-yahuda wan-nasara awliya. Do not take Jews and Christians as your awliya. Again, awliya may mean allies. As I said, friendship is something very different. But taking people as confidants, asking them to come and solve problems of the community or of the country or of society. لا تتخذوا اليهود والنصارى أولياء بعضهم أولياء بعض. Yes, do not think those who come forth and show kindness are different from those who are behind the scene and act as a bad police, for example, good police and bad police. وَمَنْ يَتَوَلَّهُمْ مِنْكُمْ فَإِنَّهُ مِنْهُمْ. If you have that sort of tawalli with them, you are from them. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الظَّالِمِينَ. This was in Surah Ma'idah. In Surah Tawbah, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Not only Jews and Christians, not only atheists, not only polytheists. لا تتخذوا آباءكم وإخوانكم, your fathers and your brothers. Do not take them as your awliya. As I said, say for example, say with regards to fathers, a Muslim is obliged, is obligated, is commanded to be kind to his parents no matter of their faith. To do good with them, to be good with them, to offer his kindness, his help, everything, his respect. So here, awliya is a different thing. Is different from showing respect and kindness and things like that. It means if your father is part of the kufr, do not seek his advice in matters of faith. Do not reveal what goes in the Muslim community to your father who's an agent of, say, for example, people who are against Muslims. لا تتخذوا آباءكم وإخوانكم أولياء إن استحبوا الكفر على الإيمان. If they like kufr more than iman. In place of iman, they like that. وَمَنْ يَتَوَلَّهُمْ مِنْكُمْ. So this tawalli, as I said, is different from the behavior that we have to show towards our parents. وَمَنْ يَتَوَلَّهُمْ مِنْكُمْ فَأُولَٰئِكَ مِنْهُمْ. It's like becoming part of their party in a sense. So he says that here the issue is not the issue of, as Tabari says, the issue of forgiveness, mercy. Here we are dealing with hypocrisy, with khiyana, with disloyalty of those who are apparently Muslims, but they have tawalli of those people. Work for the enemies of Islam. And then he says, of course, he was living in a very crucial time, 1967, what happened between Arabs and Israel, and say that today we have the fifth column amongst us, and things that is not very much related to our topic here. Okay. لا تتخذوا بطانة من دونكم لا يألونكم خبالا Sorry. ها أنتم أولئك, that was the previous verse. ها أنتم أولئك تحبونهم ولا يحبونكم. Now, and the other difference between you and them is that وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْكِتَابِ كُلِّهِ. You believe in the book, all of it. Now, تُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْكِتَابِ كُلِّهِ, here it means that you believe in the Quran as you believe in the Bible, as you believe in previous books, but they do not believe in your book. They do not believe in the whole book. God has sent one book. Of course, commentators here say this Alif and Lam is for genus, that the book as a sort of type of what is revealed from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which includes all heavenly books. But we can say that God has actually, as God has only one religion, there is a book in Kitab, and all other books which are revealed, like Quran, like Torah, are actually manifestations or revelations of that book in Kitab, which are revealed in different languages to different people. Or even if we do not say that, we can say that God is sending one message in different books, and you believe in all books. You believe in every book which is revealed from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether it's revealed to you or to others. But they do not believe in the Quran. So how do you want to somehow cope with this very big difference? In Surah Al Imran, I think we discussed this verse. قُلْ آمَنَا بِاللَّهِ وَمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَيْنَا وَمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَإِسْمَاعِيلَ وَإِسْحَاقَ وَيَعْقُوبَ وَالْأَسْبَاطِ. Say, we believe in Allah and whatever is revealed to us, and whatever is revealed to Abraham, to Ismail, to Isaac, to Jacob, to Asbat, the prophets of Banu Israel, and whatever is given to Moses and Jesus, وَالنَّبِيُّونَ مِنْ رَبِّهِمْ, and all prophets. لَا نُفَرِّقُ بَيْنَ أَحَدٍ مِّنْهُمْ. We do not differentiate between any of them. وَنَحْنُ لَهُ مُسْلِمُونَ. We are submitted to God. And then وَمَنْ يَبْتَغَ غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ. Whoever follows a religion except Islam will not be accepted from. It means that this is Islam. Believing in all books of Allah is Islam. Believing in Torah and Injil and other books and the Quran all together makes Islam. So, وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْكِتَابِ كُلِّهِ, and you believe in book, all of it, all the books. And another feature. So, first of all, you love them, they do not love you. Secondly, you believe in all books, they do not believe. Thirdly, وَإِذَا لَقُوكُمْ قَالُوا آمَنَّا. When they meet you, they say, we believe. We believe in what? Of course, not believe in Islam. We believe that you are good people. We believe that Islam is a very good religion, although we do not believe in it, but we respect it. Apparently, this is the meaning, although some have said that these are hypocrites, of Jewish hypocrites who said that, no, we are Muslims, to actually approach Muslims to get information from them. Some have said that they pretended to be Muslims, as we have even in our modern time, even in the Hausa circles, there were some infiltrators who came as Muslims, who put Aba and Amama, but they were not Muslims. And then, of course, they gathered information, they created mischief. So one possibility is that some Jews there pretended to be Muslims to actually not lose contact with Muslims, get information from them. This is one meaning. The other meaning is that Amanna, not in the sense that we believe in Islam, because they were people of the book. Amanna in the sense that, yes, Islam is a very good religion. Islam is a religion of love, religion of peace. We believe in that. I mean, things that we are all familiar with. Now, however, this is what they say in your face. وَإِذَا لَقُوكُمْ قَالُوا آمَنَّا وَإِذَا خَلَوْا عَضُّوا عَلَيْكُمُ الْأَنَامِلَ مِنَ الْغَيْظِ. And when they are in private, when they are alone, they bite their fingertips out of rage at you. It means that they are so much enraged by the flourishing community that you are having, so much enraged by what they hear from you, that is as if they want to bite their fingertips. عَضُّوا عَلَيْكُمُ الْأَنَامِلَ مِنَ الْغَيْظِ, out of rage and anger, because of what they have in their breasts of animosity, of jealousy against you. And one interesting thing is that I saw in different tafsir, whether in Majma' al-Bayan or in Tibyan of Shaykh Tusi or in Kashif, they all say what enraged them was unity of Muslims. For example, in Majma' al-Bayan, what he says is that لما يرون من ائتلاف المؤمنين واجتماع كلمتهم, because they see how the Muslims are united and how happy are they, are some disbelievers today. Of course, we cannot say that they believe in anything today, to see how disunited Muslims are, how they want to add to this disunity, how they want to create tafraqa and divide among Shia and Sunni. You see, as soon as something happens, you see how they analyze things. This is a fight between Saudi, Sunni Saudi and Shia Iran. Well, it's nothing to do with religion at all. Daesh, Sunni Muslims, Hezbollah, Shia Muslims, they have created all this mischief. And then, of course, if they see, despite that, unity holds, then they bite their fingertips. عَضُّوا عَلَيْكُمُ الْأَنَامِلَ مِنَ الْغَيْظِ, out of rage. And of course, this is a very beautiful metaphor. Certainly, they do not bite their fingertips. It shows the extent of the anger. قُلْ مُوتُوا بِغَيْظِكُمْ, say, die in your anger, in your rage. Die of your rage. This is another sort of metaphorical. Some say that this is a dua against them. May Allah kill you of your, because of, may this rage, this anger kills you. Or it may also mean that this is not going to somehow subside. Islam is going to grow. Especially at the time of the Prophet, it was growing more and more. So you can die out of your rage. Nothing is going to change. Continue to have anger until you die. Mutu bighaydikum. Because this is not going to change. Nothing is going to change on this side. So you have to continue to be angry until you die. Qul mutu bighaydikum. Inna Allah alimun بذات الصدور. Now, إن الله عليم بذات الصدور may mean, maybe actually the continuation of the saying of the Prophet, because قل, say, is a command to the Prophet. Tell them, this religion is not going to go away. It's not going to be destroyed. It's going to flourish. So if you want to be angry, be and die with your anger. And Allah knows what is in the heart of the people. And Allah has told me that you do not love the believers, but you are pretending of that. So it may be a continuation of the statement of the Prophet, قُلْ مُوتُوا بِغَيْظِكُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلِيمٌ بِذَاتِ الصُّدُورِ. Or مُوتُوا بِغَيْظِكُمْ, that's the end of what is Prophet is commanded to tell them. إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلِيمٌ بِذَاتِ الصُّدُورِ is a statement by Allah. That's Allah knows what is in your heart of jealousy, of envy, of animosity, and He will certainly one day ask you about it. إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلِيمٌ بِذَاتِ الصُّدُورِ. If it's the statement of the Prophet, it means that Allah has informed me what is in your hearts. If it's a statement of Allah, it means that wait for a day that you will be accounted for this animosity. Okay, the next verse as well is actually a further elaboration of this animosity, and then the story, an account of the Battle of Uhud is given, which is very important in this surah, as I said, because it was a very crucial moment in the history of Medina and history of the Prophet. So inshallah we leave these for our next session. رَبَّنَا لَا تُزِغْ قُلُوبَنَا بَعْدَ إِذْ هَدَيْتَنَا وَهَبْ لَنَا مِن لَدُنْكَ رَحْمَةً إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْوَهَّابُ وَصَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَى مُحَمَّدٍ وَآلِهِ الطَّاهِرِينَ.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Thank you very much for joining us. We're just going to wait a few minutes for Shaykh to inshallah join us. So we'll just give him a few minutes to come on. In the meantime, if anyone does have any questions, please do either post them in the chat in YouTube or the chat on Zoom, or if you raise your hand in Zoom, I can allow you to ask the question yourself.
Ammar, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Ammar, I'd like to ask a question, but I'd rather that the video was off or the recording was off whilst I ask. Is it possible?
Yeah, we can ask it after the session. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, maybe we can put it towards the end, let everybody finish, and then maybe towards the end, I'd like to ask a question.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, thanks.
We've just contacted Sheikh. He is just joining, so he should be here momentarily.
Ammar, when I ask, will it be off the YouTube as well?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum
How are
salam.
you?
I am very well, thank you. Thank you for that excellent session on these verses. We have some time for some questions. The first question has come in over the chat, so I will just read that out to you. What do these ayahs imply for our current interactions with people from other faiths?
Well, as I said, first of all, Assalamu alaikum, everyone. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. As I said, I mean, being friends, having good relations, being kind is all good. However, trusting people who may not like our community, who may actually disturb our community, that isn't something wrong. Of course, nowadays in our relation with friends, neighbors, others, these things would not happen. But when it comes to, say, for example, governments, organizations, they may have some sort of hidden agenda sometimes that we have to be careful about.
Thank you very much. Another question we've received is this verse, it ends with the word sudur, which is translated as breasts.
Yes.
How does this differ from qalb, and when would you use qalb and when would you use sudur?
Well, that's an interesting question. Sometimes Allah uses sudur, sometimes uses qalb. And of course, the commentators have their different views about what sadr is, what qalb is, because sadr is the place where the heart is. And therefore, if Allah is aware to the sudur, which is a more sort of elaborated place, then of course he is certainly aware of their hearts, which is the inner part of the sadr. But sadr is usually used to denote a type of connection with the heart. Like for example, alam nashrah laka sadrak, have we not opened for you your breast, which means the expansion of the heart. It actually talks about the expansion of the heart rather than the very heart itself.
Thank you very much. Just following on from that, the verse before this one talks about the aql, and it ends with ta'qilun. So how does the aql differ to the qalb, and when would you use each one?
Well, aql is intellect. Of course, when we talk about intellect in religious matter, that means the intellect which works to find out about God, to worship God, and certainly intellect. If a person uses intellect in a correct way and looks around, that aql would lead them to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Aql is something working in the heart. Actually, heart is used in the Quran in the meaning of the soul. So aql is a faculty of the heart, is a faculty of the soul, which is of course the most important faculty in the soul.
Thank you. Do we have any further questions? Okay, Shaykh, if you just give us a minute, there is one more question.
Yes.